Good morning, everyone. How are you this morning? Awesome. Cool. Let's do the. Yeah. Okay. Today I want to speak a bit about the privacy in Web3. The whole event is, of course, meant to be for the privacy guys, about decentralized data, etc. But I just want to start it like super easy, not so technical, a bit about encryption stuff, etc. But like, I want to keep it super easy for you guys because we have so many amazing speakers tonight. We have amazing after party tonight. I don't know how many are like locals, how many travel to Berlin, but like we all know that Berlin is a very good place to have parties. But at the same time, I think we have a super amazing agenda, and I wanted just to be part of it and just kick off with some things and tell you more about what Ruby does. So very shortly about Ruby, it's a cross-chain, privacy-first infrastructure built on Polkadot, and we focus mostly on access control, and we utilize the so-called functional encryption, which allows a very granular access to your data ownership, and we'll talk more about it. We raised over 7 mil. We have amazing backers. We've been in Web3 Foundation grants. We recently were accepted to Subsidies Builder program. We are proud members of the consortium, and what we are building is super interesting, and I want to kind of look at where we're coming from. So from 2015, we had this amazing movement in crypto when it comes to privacy. It started, you know, with some privacy-related cryptocurrency. I think, how many of you are using Zcash, Monero, or have used before? Okay, I see, free. So we all know about the anonymous currencies. We know about privacy payment projects. Has some of you heard about the tornado recently? There was this backlash. Okay, same guys. Like, now we are moving to the next thing about, it's called the data privacy computing, and this is where the kind of data transaction market comes, and this is where kind of Ruby comes. We're using functional encryption, and we are kind of a middleware for encryption apps. So we are focusing on access control mostly, and we are like owner-centric. And whenever I tell people, oh, we're doing, you know, this privacy thing for Web3, and they are saying, oh, but there is this other project that is doing, you know, I know guys from Fala Network, I know Manta project, they're doing awesome stuff, and they are like, but you all are the same. No, like we're using different technology, you know, and you can see there's this encryption, different encryption techs that are doing, and they are very good for very specific reasons to do. So for us, we believe the functional encryption is the best when it comes to the access control. What's the functional encryption? It's an attribute-based encryption where basically it's very good for access control, because what you have is you can have certain attributes that some people meet in order to decrypt the message. And it's very good for access control. It's the most economic version of encryption itself. So if you would take, I don't know who's familiar with zero-knowledge encryption. So it's more hardware-based. And for example, for on-chain verification purposes, it uses a lot of gas. So we have the most economic version of that. And like just to give you like an example of what's the big deal. The first thing would be NFT DID gated event accesses. So think about any event that's happening in the metaverse. I think we all heard about the concerts, the events that happened, you know, a big DJ, a big rap star, whatever, there's a big metaverse event, and yeah, you need to be whitelisted, right? But what if we go even further? I want this specific guy with a very specific name, with a very specific achievements, with a very specific off-chain and on-chain data to be present in my event, but I don't want to disclose the guy's name. So we have a lot of different attributes, both on-chain and off-chain. Maybe he was in the two specific VIP lists, because right now we only have those, the so-called, oh, I have a specific wallet address and I need to be whitelisted. What I want to do is I want to pick the very best but very unique people, but I don't want to know if they are John Smith or they are not. So basically what we can do is to have this advanced approach to access control where you can let the right people in. So that's one example of what we are working on. The other example is the regulatory compliant asset ownership. So imagine tokenized stocks. I think you heard you can buy securities that are tokenized. Coinbase securities were recently tokenized, and I think you could buy them at Binance. And when you are buying a security, there are certain regulatory issues if you're coming from one country or another. I think the best example would be if we are having the US investor and EU investor. So that's one of the things. So with access control and functional encryption, we can basically define who can buy or not buy the security. Not because we want to enforce it, but because there are certain things that, like, you don't know if you could have bought it, and that could get you in trouble. So those platforms could deal with that. Last but not least, this auditing and compliance in itself. What we are working on is for a middleware and API access between traditional finance and DeFi. So let me give you an example. I can guarantee 99% of you guys have been KYC'd in your traditional banks, like at your, I don't know, German bank, US bank, etc. You have your fiat money there. Then you go to DeFi. You need to do the KYC again. Again, simplifying, super simplifying here, but the whole idea is basically you need to do KYC many, many, many times. So what we believe that the next bull run will be driven by institutional money, and more people will come, and more people will come from traditional finance, and you will have this import of people, and there will be leakages because the people will do the KYC once again. So what we are trying to do here is that we want to take certain data that's encrypted and show that, okay, this John Smith guy, he's okay from traditional finance, so you don't need to KYC him, and vice versa. So for example, think about all third world countries, the unbanked ones that started with DeFi, but then later they earned the money on the DeFi and they want to go to traditional finance and like diversify, I don't know, have the fiat. And what they can do actually, they can use that KYC information and traditional finances can say, okay, he's good. So basically what we are trying to do to find the common ground and basically allow people, allow those institutions to share this KYC data privately, securely, again, without resharing the name John Smith or, you know, avoiding the leakages. This is the current proof of concept we are working right now. As I said in the beginning, we are working on Polkadot, but at the same time we have a compatible EVM architecture that looks very similar to the one slide that I showed before. Basically what would allow to do with the dApps on Ethereum, it would allow us basically to do the attribute-based encryption for DID event. It would allow us to do like decrypt encrypt and decrypt the certain attributes, so certain people can come in and join the event. And by doing that, we will be able to prove that it's possible, it's super economic, and it's scalable. So those are like the most important things that we want to do. And then we are going down, we're having like even bigger plans down the road with more private KYC, more private payments, but basically the idea is to focus on access control, because I believe where people are making the biggest mistake, especially with the privacy thing, and I want to be super realistic about all the things. I'll just go a bit back here. They are trying to do everything at once. They're trying, and I'm not bashing the competitors or anything, or people are thinking that the whole privacy thing, we need to keep everything private, etc. It's impossible, because we will need to be regulated one way or another, and we need to find the ways how we can protect ourselves, but at the same time to be regulatory compliant, because my personal view is privacy is like the fundamental right, but you need to have like a common ground with the laws, with the regulations, because otherwise we'll be, I don't know, I'm not saying we will be left in the dark or left in the, how would say, it's not being left in the dark, but like we'll be in this utopian place where, you know, we'll have tornado cash problems in the future, and I think this is a bad sign, and we need to be ready, and we need to be kind of very focused on what we want to do, and just keep moving. So I believe every project should do their own job and should focus on all these great things that they are doing. This is why we are super open for partnerships with other projects. We never look at them, oh, this is like, they're doing the same. No, we can do the contribution, and I think this is where the whole parity things comes in, the parachain thing, where we can plug into other parachains and have those advantages. So I think every project should focus on that, and this is what we are doing with the functional encryption, and this is where we are trying to do the most economic thing, because this scales eventually. And this is all about scaling, because we need this kind of full adaptiveness in the future, because other than that, it doesn't make sense. We're all like very small bubble, and we'll talk about the privacy. So I'm being like super, how to say, super realistic here. And yeah, we are, as I said, like we have amazing building partners that we are currently building with. And we can't wait to show you more. Our POC will be ready in October. We hope to demo it in Singapore, Token 2049. So if anybody of you will be going to Singapore, I would be more than happy to demo it to you. And with that being said, I know my timer is ticking off. I have one more meme left, but I don't see it on the screen. I don't know why. It should have been something funny. But it's a black screen. I don't know. But it was from The Lord of the Rings, where Aragorn is going like this, charging. There's a scene where he says for Frodo, and he should have told for privacy. But I guess it's not. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mindaugas. Great presentation. So now we are going to go into our Q&A session. So Parvina will be coming around with a microphone for anybody who has questions about this presentation.
Oh, there is. Sorry.
The meme came up. All right.
Is it possible to show the meme? It was the meme on the. That was the whole idea for the presentation. So the people will get the joke. Yeah, this one. It doesn't show on the screen.
That's great.
But it doesn't show on the screen. Yeah, there's a meme and I cannot show it. Yeah, well. Oh yeah, it is. So some people will get it, but yeah, that's the part of being a nerd, I guess. Yeah, I could answer any questions, but if there's no questions, oh, there is one.
Yes. Perfect.
Thanks. First off, could we maybe up the contrast on this screen? That would be amazing. But awesome presentation. Thanks a lot. I think when you talk about onboarding, you know, this next huge set of users, those pain points are really real and hard to solve. Especially when you talk about KYC and this multiple recurrence of having to, you know, do this over and over. So it sounds like you're kind of going into this direction of a proof of humanity protocol, and then that taking that further, like a Web3 identity, like a single source Web3 identity. So do you plan to do cross-chain, multi-chain, KYC?
Yes, that's in the plan, because I don't want to. I really don't want to. I don't like this naive approach in Web3 where people just stick the Web3 thing and we're gonna make it the whole bullshit. I'm super realistic guy. Like we need to do anything that allows us to scale. We need to, like, if there are some legal authorities, and I know there is like this always the backlash with the regulators, etc. But we need to find the common ground, whatever helps us to scale, to grow. That's the only way. Because if we're gonna be like this, and we're gonna be the Web3 boys and like pretend that's, you know, we're not going that route, it's just basically impossible. And if people will need to do more KYCs, like I talk with so many people from Web 2 that trying to go to Web 3 and they read connect to wallet thing, they are afraid. And there's like this UX problem. Like I tell people you should just change the word, because they believe that they're connecting their real money and like they're gonna lose it. And like there are so many problems. How would you connect and like be, you know, it's kind of there are. So I think we should be humble enough and look for, okay, what's the best solution to move forward? Like, what's the best solution? It's kind of like today with the energy crisis in Europe, like, okay, let's just screw this. Let's do something, you know, we just need to fix it right now and today. And I think we should do this with the privacy, with all the things when it comes to KYC, and this proof of humanity concept is like very close to our heart.
And taking that a bit further, do you see that as we kind of get there, and as like the multi-chain ecosystem continues to develop, that creating a product that serves that purpose becomes harder, or it eventually is going to become easier? Because the space has been going for a while now. We still don't have something like this. So I imagine the difficulties are quite high.
Yeah, I think we have amazing things that are happening within Parity, you know, when it comes to the parachains themselves. I think this is the cross-chain messaging is like one of the best examples right now, like the real examples rather than three, what can be done. I think we'll have those, I call them like galaxies, not universes, but like smaller galaxies that are working, and see how they can work the other way around with the other galaxies, so to speak. So I think we need to go one step at a time and see which ecosystem can be scalable in those projects. But eventually, yeah, we will need to go like this, or otherwise others will be pushed back and like it's not going to be scalable. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Excellent. And are there any other questions?
I think there's
one in the back.
Can I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if you are just right now focusing only on DeFi and money transactions, or also, for example, for me, it's interesting to see how we can use decentralized data for health applications, because these are very sensitive data.
With the healthcare, yeah, that's one of our core. I cannot disclose more what we are working on, but like with the healthcare, it's one of the next pillars in our roadmap, basically. Because it's a super sensitive data, you know, what we are having, because especially when it comes to, you know, oncology and other genomics, that's super sensitive when it comes to, I don't know, leaking the data. You know, leaking about your money and leaking about your health, there's like a kind of this two different things. So I think that we need to prove our tech works. Like as a proof of concept, then we go with the money and believe. I think it's a more ethical question. I mean, at the end, it's technical question and the math, but like it's a more sensitive topic to speak when it comes to healthcare. But yeah, this is the next big thing, and this is where the money is actually.
Okay. Do you have any idea about the roadmap when you are going to focus on the health data implementation?
Q4 and next year, I think.
Okay. Thank you.
I think there was one more question there.
Yes, was there one more in the back?
Thank you for the presentation. You mentioned the Tornado Cash issue. Did it have any impact on your roadmap because also privacy solution? Did you have any?
It's a double-edged sword, to be honest. I worked a lot in cybersecurity before. So there are two things, you know, to be very honest with you. We could say the more bad things happen, the better it is for the business, because then you can prove that, oh, you know, we kicked somebody, you know, that they don't like it, so it makes sense that either they are afraid, you know, and we should build the kind of solutions for that. I think what we need to be sensible. Not that we are afraid, but it shows that, okay, we are not, we need to find a common ground. You know, that's the only way. We cannot just say somebody was using the money, or 100% people were like using the money for good reasons. You know, it's like with the Bitcoin and Silk Road. You know, if I look at it as this. You know, Bitcoin will always be remembered as a part of drug money or whatever. You know, I think with the tornado it's the same. So we don't say that's nothing. It's a sign that things might happen. You know, and we need to be ready. We need to be legally ready, and we need to. Whenever we are building something, we need to have like responsibility at the same time. I'm on one side naive that we can have this ultimate privacy, but at the same time we're living in a regulatory world and we'll need to comply with something. So the sooner we are coming to the common grounds, the less surprises we're gonna have, rather than, you know, boom, blocked stuff, you know, from tornado.
But you haven't made any changes when you're...
So far, no, because we are focusing. Like this is where I was coming back to the competing edges part. This is where we are focusing, and we believe, you know, I think the Tornado Cash impacts certain projects more. I'm not inclined, I'm not the expert to comment like directly on other projects, but I know certain projects were like impacted more, because after like, you can look at the timeline when Tornado Cash thing happened, like some projects had to, how to say, make a breaking news Q&A or something and kind of say what's going to happen, you know, the privacy payment projects, the Monero project, et cetera, et cetera. They needed to make like this, what's going to happen, because people got scared, you know. It doesn't touch us directly, but we showed our appreciation to those projects, and we kind of told what we are going to do, but like this doesn't like directly impact us, as to speak. So it wasn't that related. This is why I think everybody should stick to what they are doing and strive for that. So,
Okay.
All right, Mindaugas, thank you very much. Great presentation.